Well, first, I just want to can you touch on the process in creating an Audible series versus visual? Were there any challenges or perks to it?
Oh, this is the magic maker. I got in trouble all the time. So,
I mean, it's tricky because I think I do lean on, what you can see a lot because that's what I'm used to doing. So for this one, we had to make sure that there were certain sounds and certain things and really making sure the dialogue was really flowy. So that way people could just flow along with it and not get bored. And we think so far, so good.
That is true, because Lena would come in and direct and say, no, Kym, just say the line. And I'm like, no, I got to punch it, it's on, it's audio. No, Kym, just say the line. So I had to lean on her to understand that it's for the ear, it's not visual.
Yeah.
I love it. And then second question, Wyclef is such a legend. Why was he the perfect guy to compose the music?
Because he's a friend. He likes to call himself my Haitian Quincy Jones. And he also scores The Shy. So, and he and I met, we met before, but I did his podcast. And he did this thing where he took a scene from Queen and Slim and scored it himself. And that was his way of sort of telling me, he's like, I really want to get into this. And it was a really cool, obviously I love everything about Queen and Slim and the way it is, but it was a really cool interpretation for him to play with. And so I said, do you want to score The Shy? We needed a new composer anyway. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And when this opportunity came about and we needed some score, I asked Wyclef to do it and he jumped in and killed it because he does everything else.
Yeah, he killed it.
I love it. Awesome. Kym, do you want to touch on Wyclef at all? Are you a fan?
When Lena told me Wyclef, I really couldn't believe it. I was like, no, you're kidding. And then the choices that he made, I would never have thought, but it was perfect. The music is perfect in and out of the scenes, just perfect, perfect, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
So much. Good to see you.
Thank you. Don't act like I know you too. See you. Good to see you.
Hilarious.
Okay, so this is Nye McGee with EUR Web. My first question, Kym, after having listened to several of the episodes, I feel like every episode left me with more questions, which was very exciting, right? And so I'm wondering, what do you hope mothers, single parents, take away from your journey that you unpack on this podcast?
That you really got to laugh at yourself, and really just take it day by day, because life throws you all kind of curveballs. And this was a big curveball, but how they say, you take your lemons and you make lemonade. So I hope that mothers can just sit in it and laugh and say, you know what, this is just part of the journey.
And my follow-up question for you is, was it therapeutic for you in any way, unpacking your experience as a celebrity entertainer and raising a young boy and unpacking it and reliving this all for this podcast with Lena? Was taking this journey with Miss Lena therapeutic for you in any way?
Well, it's therapeutic in a lot of ways, but it was scary. It is scary when you put your life, and one thing, Lena, you got to understand, this one right here is a producer, but she wants truth. I'm all jokey, and then Lena will stop me like, hey, this is real, delivered real. So it was therapeutic. It was a learning experience. So if I had to cry, I had to cry. Lena was like, hey, it's real. This is what happened. And she wants to hear the real stories. So yeah, I guess it was therapeutic.
Mm-hmm. Your favorite.
Oh,
Thank you.
Can y'all hear me?
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me now? Are we good?
You hear us is the question.
Yeah, I hear y'all. So, all right, first of all, God bless everybody that's on the panel. You already know what it is. This is Hip Hop Gamer Hot 97. We got legends in the building, Kym and Lena. What? So I got two questions for y'all. We about to get it popping. All right, so my first question, both of y'all can take this, but I want to ask y'all, PlayStation or Xbox? What we doing? Lena, take it first.
What's funny? I'm not a gamer. It's something that I don't do, and thank God, because I probably do it all day long and not get anything done. That's not my own personality. But that is in The Shy. Kevin is a big gamer, and it's something that we're getting into with him even deeper next season. So it's something that we take very seriously on the show. We know kids are making money doing it, especially a lot of, we want to make sure young Black and brown kids know that's an opportunity for them. So I don't have a preference, but I definitely am somebody that takes gaming real seriously. I know it's a way for people to make a little honest buck.
Got you. That's what I'm talking about. Kym, same question.
off this PlayStation because it's fun. That Lena deep. I couldn't get that.
So, now the reason why I asked y'all about the gaming question is because after listening to the podcast, to me, this is the next generation of what a podcast is. It's not like this is different. To me, it's like a showcast. It makes me want to see things in ways that I didn't see it. It's like reverse engineering the impact, and it's forcing people to listen and take in what they hear versus just seeing things and missing the substance. So this is genius right here. So here's the reason why I want to ask you is this. I would love to play this. With what y'all did, it will be so intrinsic the way we would feel the actual message if we was able to play it and make different decisions and have different routes you can take based on what Kym is saying and stuff like that, especially with the guy with the gold tooth. That would be hilarious. So what are your thoughts on bringing this style to the gaming medium in a form of a way where we can control it and play it? And I'll let you take that, Lena.
Well, yeah, I think that's a big question. Well, one, I'm really grateful that you enjoyed the experience listening to it. You know, I think it's sort of really not, it's not a new way to take in content. It's actually a very old way of taking in content. That's how people used to listen to, you know, they didn't watch TV shows, they would listen to them. So, you know, we hope people are enjoying that experience. In terms of making it interactive, I haven't thought about that yet, but I definitely think it's a really great idea. But as of right now, it's our way of maybe even telling writers, this is a new way of telling a story. And I think with this, it's like just sort of even like say, I'll take example for like 20s where Kym plays Hattie's mom. You don't get a choice in what happens on that show, but hopefully you enjoy the ride. I think with Kym, it's the same thing. You're kind of going on this ride with us, but when you play your video games, you get to determine that outcome and how that ends. But with this one, you get to still be surprised. Hopefully it's still good for you in that way.
Oh, I loved it. I love y'all. This is crazy. I'm gonna shut up now, let somebody else take it, but this is crazy and I'll be back again shortly.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Much love.
Romeo International rolling out. Kym loves me more. Okay, so what's up, Lena? My first question is, during the creative process for you, Kym, how do you balance? And I think somebody asked the question earlier, but it caught my mind. How do you balance how much to give and how far to let people in? Because you know, it's a balance on the creativity. Like, yeah, you want your truth to come out, but like, how far of the truth do you actually like give?
Well, I think it is a trust situation. You know, I got to trust Lena. Lena as an EP, we're family first. We didn't meet like, oh, let's do this. We were already friends and family. So you understand, I sit with Lena sometimes at the house and I'll be like, I'm gonna tell you something I ain't never told nobody. So I think even with this, she will say, no, we're not putting that on the show. I was like, you're right. So it's a trust thing. I think that's how you have to balance it. Now, if this was someone else, hey, it might not be as good because that trust is really there, that Lena would look at something and probably like, you know what, Kym, we're gonna take out this part, because she also knows I have a real son named Joshua that's gonna grow up and maybe listen to this, and he'll say, and then he'll come with questions. So really having a team that you can trust, the whole team over Hillman, Grad, Audible, let me tell you something, you gotta trust the process or you're gonna be in trouble.
And my last one, Lena, when it comes to you on the creating part, right? Because all the control is in your hand. Like my man said, you got the controller. Like on you, do you balance that out between the creativity that needs to be presented and protecting Kym at the same time? Or is it more of, hey, I'm gonna give y'all this piece of cake and let y'all just eat it, and however y'all eat it is up to y'all?
Well, I think there's definitely, responsibility in terms of being mindful that is loosely based on someone's real life. I have to loosely base things on my life. So I'm kind of used to juggling those things and toting that line. But I also know truth is important. You want to be authentic. You want to be real. The real story is way more interesting than things you're trying to make up or trying to make entertaining. So for me, it's about not doing it verbatim and just telling the exact thing. Even though me telling my own coming out story, I was pretty true to like what was happening. But I still took some creative license here and there because it's still entertainment, y'all. I gotta like take y'all through the whole journey in 30 minutes versus the 10 years it took to kind of live that life. So I think that's what's exciting about it, is you get to take real life stories and present them to people in an entertaining way, but hopefully the realer it is, the more people can relate to it.
Cool beans. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Good seeing you, Romeo.
And I'm still single, Kym. All right, cool.
Oh, perfect. Good to know, because she needs somebody.
Hi, this is Alyssa from Hollywood Unlocked. It's great. Well, you guys can't see me, but I can see you. So you guys are both legends in the game, and I know I've seen all of your shows, and you're very experienced in everything. But what did you guys each learn from each other during this experience?
Well, I learned from Lena, as I always learn, because you got to understand, I call her my niece, but sometimes she's the mama and the auntie, because to trust. Through this process, this was a long process, but I was doing things that, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do, or, and then Lena would call me and say, you can't do that. Or even in the recording process, Kym, I will go in the booth. So look, I want to say it like this. So what do you think? No, Lena would say, no, do it like this. So what I learned to do is, in a way, stay in my lane. But I'm learning from her as becoming a producer and how to be a creative, that you have to look at the whole picture, not just about you as an actress. Sometimes you think it's just about me. You have to look at the whole story and the whole picture. I think that's what I've been learning from Lena through this process.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I really learned that like Kym is always going to bring her whole life into the studio every day. It's like if you're a single mother and you got a kid that's like, yes, we're telling the story about her kid, that is gonna come into the booth. Joshua, a real life son, is gonna have a tantrum or be upset, or she's running late for whatever reasons. And I think that just personified what story we were trying to tell about a single mother who also is a performer and who also has a village that helps her raise the son. And so to me, it was really life imitating art and art imitating life, which is what you always want to go for.
And I wanted to say, I learned from Lena to trust in castings, because I didn't want it David A. Arnold, because we're such good friends. I was like, I don't want my love interest. Lena said, be quiet, sit down, trust me. And let me tell you something, best decision ever made.
R.I.P. to David A. Arnold.
Yep, rest in peace, love you.
Definitely. I think I have time for one more. So Lena, as you said, this is how we used to consume entertainment back in the day. Was there any creative difficulty only kind of relying on audio as opposed to we're used to TV visuals and being able to see everything?
Yeah, I think I definitely have gotten used to the ability of seeing an actor just have a look on their face to convey an emotion, for sure. I love pauses in between moments on TV shows for the audience to digest what's going on, for the characters to digest what's going on as well. And I sort of think when it's audio, you got to imagine and hope. We can still have those pregnant pauses here and there, but I think I sometimes have to make sure the dialogue is always giving people what they need in this instance.
Definitely. We get to use our own imagination to create what's in our mind and what we perceive from it. Yes. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Koku with blackfilm.com. And I'm wondering, Kym, very specifically, and I want to kind of piggyback off of what she just said, in the world of not just audio, but even with voiceovers and animation, it's a very different creative process. And you can emote on camera. Emoting with your voice is very, very different in how you come off and how you want to sound. And again, it does give you a throwback feel to the days of Richard Pryor, Moms Mabley, even Eddie Murphy, where we were listening to people and we were just falling asleep to these hilarious creative tapes. But I wonder, specifically with you, Kym, because I know that you're so funny, right? So how did you just know to trust Audible, trust this process, and trust this medium in the world that we live in? I know Lena could probably get it probably a little earlier than you would in this sense. But how did you figure you know what, Lena, you're not talking crazy to me right now?
Absolutely. I gotta be honest, it was hard. It was difficult to trust it, because when you're voice acting and you have to put that emotion, once again, I'll talk about the team, sometimes you can't hear yourself. and you don't know if the person, but you got to trust the people in the booth, the directors, the writer. You got to trust that they'll say, no, I'm not getting that. It was hard because I feel like I'm monotone. Sherri called me last night. She was like, I keep listening to it and I sound so monotone. I said, no, you don't. You sound crazy. You sound funny. You have the highs and the lows, the voice. And if you listen to the characters, I think everyone was just so into their character. I think it really does come out. And I felt like I would always ask Lena, I was like, shouldn't I push it? Can I just say this word? Shouldn't I say? So it's hard. I'm not going. It is way harder. Like I can do a sitcom. I can make a face. I can do that pause, and the audience laugh. How do you do that in Audible? And listen, you have. It's hard.
Thank you. Lena, was she hard to work with?
No. You know, it is like family. And I think because the first time we worked together was on the Thanksgiving episode of Master of None. And I think that was just where, you know, a lot of relationships began there. Obviously, Kym and I were already friends, but I think it cemented us as collaborators. And then obviously I developed a real bond with Melina Mitsoukas, of course. We would then go and do Queen of Slim. And obviously, and Angela Bassett and I are forever connected. And I do think of her as a second mother. So it was like, that's how I always knew she and I could work really well together.
But you made me a promise. You said, and you was like, I'm gonna be your Barry Gordy. And I'll never forget it because let me tell you something, every time she got a show, I got a job. Isn't that true?
That's true.
You don't even know. Sometimes it'd be at my last dollar. All of a sudden I'll be like, look at Lena, look, how you know. Yep, I'll take it. Where we going?
Oh my God. I'll keep Kym employed.
Yep. Yeah.
Gosh.
I love it.
You do.
It pays to make good friends in Hollywood, no?
That's true.
But you know what?
Authentic friends, though.
But let me tell you something. This didn't used to be. There was no Lena Waithe, you know. When I say Black women running things and making decisions, when was that? Last, 10 years? 5 years? Was Oprah, Lena, Shonda Rhimes? So you didn't have that. So when you say it is good, it's absolutely, it's a good time right now. But when I first started, come on now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out to Quinta, Issa.
Oh yeah.
Tracy
Quinta,
Oliver.
Tracy.
Lee Davenport.
Look at that. I gotta call them.
This is amazing. I had a major question. This is truly amazing, and God bless y'all for being this great. Period. I just had to say that. My question for both of y'all, and I'll start with you first, Kym. What do you feel is your cheat code that you give back to the industry and the culture within your skill set?
Wow. A cheat code?
You're, personable.
Like
you're super relatable.
Am I me? Am I?
Yeah.
No, like you said, what do I give back?
But like, I think I'm getting it right. Yeah.
You gotta always help me because I'm confused.
What cheat code? Like,
yeah. So what I mean by cheat code is not everybody can do what you're doing at the level that you're doing it. So everybody has their own fingerprint, that they bring to what they love. So what's your cheat code? And as well as Lena, what's your cheat code? And then I guess we'll wrap it up after that.
Well, I think the biggest thing is to be nice. You got to be a light on the set or to work with. You cannot bring ego and darkness and your personal life. You having problems. Nobody has time. We're there to work. We're there to make magic. And I think that's my cheat code because I always tell people, they're like, Kym, how you always working? I always say it is 90% personality and light and 10% talent.
Wow. Lena, what you say to that before we get out of here?
I think Kym is very talented. I think she has way more talent than she's giving herself credit for. But I also think her authenticity is also, because also even too, it's like you would sometimes be having not the best day or you're stressed or whatever. So I don't feel that people are obligated to come in and be nice. Like if you're having a rough day, I'd rather you tell me and then we go, okay, cool, let's try to get you in and out or let's give you some space. I think that to me, if I have one is that, it's like really trying to check in with people because I think sometimes we're only valued for what we can do to entertain or whatever talent we have to offer. So I think what I'm really trying to, understand and express is that I'm more than the gifts that I have to offer. And so if I'm not having the best day or if I'm going through some stuff, I have the right to be in that space, just like Kym does. If she's coming to work and we both having a rough one, let's acknowledge that and hopefully put it into the work in a way that people can also feel, again, that authenticity.
God bless y'all. We love
Always has
y'all.
better answers
This
than
is
me.
incredible. And I know we got to wrap, but thank you so much for being amazing. God bless y'all. Real talk, yo.
I appreciate you for your energy, brother. Thank you all so much. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
If you want to see more content like this on blackfilm.com, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell.